Hello everybody, Disciple here with Hearthstone Curios. Now Angoro was the first time we saw legendaries that weren't minions, and having legendary spells in quests is really exciting and opens up a ton of design space for future other legendaries. Since we did get legendary spells, albeit ones with some interesting added rules onto them, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to expect really powerful legendary weapons at some point in Hearthstone's near future. Still though, there are some great weapons already in the game, which is why today we thought we'd go over the 10 best collectible weapons in the game of Hearthstone. Let's get right into it. First up, it's Fiery War Axe. Now, Fiery War Axe is one of the most iconic weapons or even cards at all in the game, and it's been a staple in every kind of warrior deck since the very beginnings of Hearthstone itself. Paying 2 mana for 6 damage that you can usually split pretty efficiently is insane, and War Axe is a great tool early on for clearing the board, generating some card advantage at the cost of life total, or even just pressuring your opponent's life itself. It's your best early game tool in a control deck, how you get advantage in a tempo deck, and it also pushes a ton of damage in aggro and allows your smaller, weaker minions to survive even later on into the game. This card really does everything, and it'll probably continue to for a very long time, which is why it definitely deserves a spot on this list of best weapons. Up next, True Silver Champion. 4 attack and 2 durability are pretty nice stats for a weapon, especially if it has an extra effect, and True Silver Champion has that nice little bit of gravy on it to take it from good to great. True Silver will usually kill, or at least mostly kill, 2 medium to large size minions, and for 4 mana that's an awesome deal. It can typically kill what your opponent plays on turn 3 and maybe even turn 4, and it allows you to trade up the turn after, giving you awesome value for this one card. And if you even just want to attack face for the heal, it can also give you a great amount of healing against something like Freeze Mage, which typically has a limited amount of damage it can do to your face, and this can bring you out of lethal a lot more times than you'd expect it to, while also sometimes just giving you reach against these decks with that 4 damage to the face 2 turns in a row. It's awesome offensively and defensively and works in almost every paladin deck that there's ever been. Next up, let's talk about Power Mace. For 1 extra mana added onto your Fiery War Axe, Power Mace lets you buff a mech for +2/+2 when it runs out of durability or is otherwise destroyed. This makes for a super strong force in mech decks, since not only do you get a weapon that does a great job of keeping the opponent's board clear early on, but you also get to make a huge Whirling Zap-O-Matic or a Noyotron to really ruin your opponent's day. And back when Goblins vs Gnomes was still in the rotation, Mech Shaman was actually very strong, and Power Mace was one of the reasons why. The actual weapon part of Power Mace isn't super insane, but the added effects and how well it synergized in Shaman mech decks made it a force inconstructed at the time, and it definitely earns a spot on the list. Moving on, we have Cog Hammer, another GVG card. Popularized mainly for being a really strong one-of in Secret Paladin, Cog Hammer is just insane value even on a smaller minion, and is potentially game-winning when you hit a big one. Giving your 9/8 Challenger Taunt and Divine Shield was enough to end games for the most part, a pretty good amount of the time, and getting a 2/3 weapon added on just sweetened the deal, while also giving you plenty of chances to play it earlier on in the game, getting a nice trade with your minions, and then swinging with your weapon 3 times to help keep the board advantage to your side. Cog Hammer was really great against aggro since the Divine Shield and Taunt was really helpful, and you were able to pick off some annoying early minions like Knife Juggler. And overall, Cog Hammer could be used to beat control as well, since it let you trade up with some enormous minions with that Divine Shield. Now up next, it's Deathbite, which is probably my favorite weapon in the entire game and one that I'm really sad has rotated out. Like we talked about with True Silver Champion, 4 mana for a 4/2 weapon is a pretty solid deal, and with the extra effect that just takes it over the top. In fact, Deathbite's bonus effect tends to be a bit more impactful than True Silver Champion's, by quite a bit. Dealing 1 damage to everything when the weapon runs out of durability is actually huge, since there's a pretty big breaking point between minions with 4 health and 5 health, and being able to do that essentially 5 damage to 1 minion while also being able to damage other minions on the board was crazy. You can use the Whirlwind effect to enable an execute, clear off a lot of small enemy minions like Hunter runs, power up your own Frothing Berserker, or even double all of your Grim Patrons. And this weapon synergized so perfectly with Patron Warrior back when it was a thing in Standard, and I'm sure that it would still be played in Warrior today if it were still in the rotation. Next we have Glade Zuka. Glade Zuka is a really awesome aggro card, and it made Face Hunter incredibly strong back in its day. A lot of times it was kind of overlooked, and a lot of people might not think of it as a particularly powerful card, but when you really put the stats together, it's just great. 2 mana for a 2/2 weapon is perfectly fine, and although it's not necessarily as reliable as Fiery War Axe, the extra 1 attack that Glade Zuka gives to something can make it even better than Warrior's already solid weapon, especially if you're able to put it on something like a charge. You get to buff a minion to get in for some extra points of damage, hopefully multiple times if the minion lives more than a turn, and you also get that 2/2 weapon to clear out the board and get that advantage, or just go face. Glade Zuka just did a ton of damage for such a small amount of mana, and if you could get your Glade Zuka on turn 2 against a 1-drop, then you could dominate the board early on and go face for the next few turns, ending the game out incredibly quickly. Continuing on, let's talk about Control Warrior's favorite tool to play with since the beginning of the game, Gore Howl. Gore Howl is just a completely busted control card that lets you grind out an insane amount of value. Now, if you actually get the full Gore Howl value and get it from 7 to 0 attack, it deals a total of 28 damage to minions. Now, obviously that scenario doesn't happen quite that often, but even if the first 2 hits deal 13 damage, going up to 18 if you get a third, you can get so much value out of this one card. That's just an insane amount of damage to get from a 7 mana card, and it should put you really far ahead in resources, or at the very least help you catch up if you were behind. Gore Howl can also just always go face for 7 if that's going to give you lethal, and the versatility and value that Gore Howl just oozes definitely earns it a spot on this list of the strongest weapons of all time. You also have to remember that Gore Howl enabled the OTK back in the day, when you could just simply win the game by equipping your Gore Howl one turn, and the next turn playing Alexstrasza on the opponent's face, bringing them to 15, playing Charge on your Alexstrasza, which gave them charge for 1 mana, and then allow you to hit the face for 8 with Alex, 7 for Gore Howl, and finish the game with a 30 damage 3-card combo. And that was absolutely insane. Next up, it's Jade Claws. Jade Claws is just an incredibly efficient card, giving you a really solid 2/2 weapon as well as a Jade Golem for only 2 mana. In non-Jade oriented decks, the Golem might not get quite as big, but it still has things like Jade Lightning and maybe even Aya Blackpaw to build off of, and even just a 2/2 weapon that makes a 1/1 is pretty solid value, and it makes this mid-range shaman really annoying to deal with. Although it's not necessarily as strong in the recent expansion in Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, it was pretty crazy to have that aggro Jade deck, and this was definitely one of the best cards in there. Losing other early game cards, especially Tunnel Trog, definitely did hurt this card, but it's still a solid one to put into your Shaman deck, and it definitely deserves a spot here. Now up next, it's Eaglehorn Bow, one of the most unique weapons in all of Hearthstone, and one that's been in from the beginning. Eaglehorn Bow is like a Fiery War Axe that you do pay an extra mana for, but it can recharge potentially as long as you want, and that's pretty nuts. Even without secrets, getting a slightly worse Fiery War Axe and Hunter is still really good, since it lets you push face damage and keep the board clear for your high synergy minions and your very sticky minions that you want to swing at face as much as possible. Eaglehorn Bow has been a support pillar of Hunter decks for years, with or without secrets, and even though the potential value on it is almost limitless, it's still a great card even at only 2 durability, and it totally earns its spot here. You have to remember that it used to be even better, since it would trigger on your opponent's secrets as well, anytime a secret was revealed. So when you play this against Paladin or Mage, or another hunter, then you could also just continuously rack up the value and keep hitting face over and over with this 3-attack weapon. Now, it's been a pretty solid staple in Hunter for a long time, and we expect to be seeing it quite a bit more. Now, last but not least, it's Doom Hammer, one of the most iconic games from the Warcraft universe, and one of the most powerful weapons in the game of Hearthstone as well. There's almost nothing that lets you deal damage quite as fast as Doom Hammer, and it's been a finisher in aggro shaman decks for a really long time. Now, it did get hurt a lot with the Rockbiter nerfs, and the meta in general is pretty bad for it right now, so it hasn't seen a lot of play, but 16 damage for 5 mana is pretty hard to argue with, and there are tons of other shenanigans that increase the number by a lot or let Doom Hammer kill in one turn. It's one of the most iconic weapons in Hearthstone and Warcraft lore in general, and also packs quite a punch, making it the perfect card to end our list of best weapons with. Now, if you've been playing Hearthstone for a while, I'm sure that you know just how frustrating it is not only to have your opponent hitting you in the face for 2 a turn, but to watch them put 2 1-mana Rockbiter weapons onto their weapon and hit you for 16 bursts in 1 turn with nothing but a weapon and a couple spells. And I think we're pretty lucky that Rockbiter weapon was nerfed. Anyway, those are what we think the 10 best weapons in the game are. Which ones are your favorite? You can go ahead and let us know. Anyway, that's going to be it from us. I'll see you next time. Peace.